has been unsurpassed. In '98, she was ranked #1 in the world at 1500, 1 mile, 3K, 5K. She's got a terrific range of weaponry.
Just saw Mikutenko from Germany. There's Kadan, the third of the Ethiopians. Pavy's had a terrific year for Great Britain.
She's had a very, very good year, and this is to have made a final is beyond even her dreams.
Tomasheva of Russia. Fast season for her. Yordanova, an outsider of Bulgaria. Kuka of Latvia, 2:4.59. She's also an outsider. There's O'Sullivan. Huge roar. She's run in Sydney so often in the past. Done a lot of work with Georgie Clark, who will run for Australia in the 1500, the 16-year-old. Vivian Cheruiyot of Kenya. And I think the Kenyans are maybe outclassed here. Zhevtik of Yugoslavia. On 15:11. Here's Szabo. Unbeatable, really, Seb, until about 3 weeks ago.
She really was. I mean, talk about an air of invincibility, but it all came to an end in Berlin. I think that my concern with Szabo at the moment is I just think she races too often.
Is Wami, by the way, who's the big danger, isn't she?
And I think Wami can win this tonight. She's not as quick a finisher as Szabo. Szabo or Wami will need to get rid of her towards the end of the race. She can't allow a dash for the tape with 200 or 300 meters to go, but she looks very confident.
Lydia Cheruiyot, and inside of her, Ailesh Warku. So there's Szabo. And what about for O'Sullivan? She wore flats, didn't she, in the heat, and now into the spikes in the final?
Well, O'Sullivan has a very big task tonight, and that is to erase the dreadful memories of '96 in Atlanta, where she was KO'd with stomach cramps, didn't run well, and her season's been up and down. She's run incredibly well over 3,000 meters. Great performance in Zurich, another very good one in Gateshead towards the end of our domestic season. But she's not had the kind of consistency and the kind of form we would expect of her. Although she's very fast, she's got, she's got very, very good finishing speed, and has beaten Szabo in the past.
Women's 5,000. They're on the mark.
Stand up.
O'Sullivan standing up. Well, I'm not sure why, but they've gone back. Wami's the 10,000 world champion.
On your mark.
On a world cross country. Up they come again. Field of 15 here. Away, 12.5 laps. O'Sullivan, the tall Irish woman, and Szabo, Romania, with the gold yellow strip pushing forward. Warku coming across of Ethiopia, along with Wami, Yordanova and Tomasheva, a couple of rush
days. She doesn't need to be forcing her way onto the outside. I'd be nervous if we were at the business end of, as I've said, of the 5,000 metres over the last 3 or so laps, and she was pinned on the inside. Never a good position at any distance to be in. But she can allow this to develop.
So that's the women's 5,000, and the pole vault final Ethiopian teammate and Szabo just quickened up a bit. 3:03 the first 1,000. You can feel as if they're just starting to stretch, and the field is stretching out behind. Szabo and Wami have been close together. Warku inside, and then Lydia Cheruiyot of Kenya. Sonia O'Sullivan is drifted back. She's 5 from the back at the moment. That lap was 69. Wami looking good. Szabo, Warku, and you can already see that they're just starting to stretch a little, and Wami out in front. And off the back at the moment is Vivian Cheruiyot, the third of the Kenyans.
Well, I think we can say the die has been cast. Wami is not going to sit around and allow Szabo the privilege of out-kicking her. Szabo has done it time and time again on the circuit. She knows exactly at what point in the race to do it. She's got an unerring sense of when other athletes are struggling. And Wami's going to make it hard for her. It is the way to win, and she will do what she can to take Szabo into her zone of discomfort, as they describe it now, as early as she can.
Not a good sign for O'Sullivan to be 4 from the back at this point. So Wami, so strong, leads Szabo. Such a big winner, the world champion for the last 2. There's Warku, dangerous. Lydia Cheruiyot, and then inside of her, Rose Cheruiyot, with 2 miles to go, 8 laps. Yegorova's there. Mikutenko, and I think Zhevtik's actually left the track, the Yugoslav. So holder leads the 10,000 world champion leads the 5,000 metre world champion, Szabo, who's looking pretty good. Looking up at the big screen, Wami's happy just to roll along. That lap 71, so they're slowed a bit. O'Sullivan's been up at...
But it can be repeated, and it can damage. And you don't really need to be studying the clock to see what's happening there. Suddenly the field comes back in contention again. You have 4 or 5 athletes, perhaps even running 2 or 3 abreast. And then Wami, I fancy, probably in half a lap's time, will put another surge in. You'll watch them stretch out into single file again. And she will go on doing that, hoping that she can get rid of Szabo. It will be a tall order, but she's capable of doing it.
Here's O'Sullivan. Well, this is a better sign. She's obviously feeling pretty good, and she decided to make a move and put herself right up with the lead group. It's where she has to be. It's Wami leading. The tiny Ethiopian just looks at Szabo. Wami fastest this year. Szabo, a recent defeat from Leah Marlott, a Kenyan who we think must be running in the 10 because she's not in the 5. And they've got 6 to go. And O'Sullivan's up in 6th place. Covering the move, needs to. You could feel as if the top 6 or 7 are about to move away from the rest of the field with a mile to go, 4 laps out.
I have to say that Szabo looks ominously comfortable. There's no stress or strain in her face. She's got this funny...
Woku.
Well, Szabo absolutely instinctively and correctly assessed the situation, and she will just move with anybody that hits that front, because she knows that the longer this race goes on, the more chance she has of winning it, and the others around her know that they are confronted by somebody who has a devastating finishing kick. Psychologically, that's very, very difficult to go on doing that as a front runner.
3 laps out, so still 70, but Kadan leads, 18 years of age. Second, Woku. The favoured Ethiopian is 4th at the moment. That's Wami. Szabo just up in front of her, and then Lydia Cheremoy, 23-year-old from Kenya, O'Sullivan, and Nikotenko, the German, parents born in Kazakhstan. She's the only one who's been able to go with this group. She's straining a bit. O'Sullivan still looks a chance. Poised, the Irish woman. Szabo in the right place. Wami inside, looks around. Out wide, Cheremoy. So Kadan leads. 2.5 laps to go.
Well, Woku taken some of the pressure, but it's difficult to assess Wami at the moment. She's just sitting in. She's a team over the next couple of laps, but I think this is beginning now to play very, very firmly into Szabo's hands.
What about O'Sullivan's hands as she's feeling good? She too can kick. She outkicked Szabo at the Europeans. It's the best of Africa and the best of Europe with 2 laps to go.
Well, this is shaping up very well, and the slower it is, the likelier there is of a kick from Szabo. What we'll find is Wami will hit the front again. She won't want this pace to drop. O'Sullivan will follow as she is. Szabo not going to give too much away. Will move probably to the outside of that lane and allow the others to come through.
So Szabo leads, Wami second now, Woku third, O'Sullivan just drifts back, Cheremoy around her, Nikotenko hangs on, and Kadan is in 6th position. Szabo leading, Wami moves up to her shoulder, 500 metres to go in the women's 5,000, and the favourites are all up in front. Szabo of Romania has won the last 2 World Championships. Wami's the 10,000 World Champion. Woku sits in behind. O'Sullivan just behind those. Nikotenko makes a move around Cheremoy and around. Nikotenko's been a surprise. Szabo goes now. The long run for home. 250. Wami goes through. O'Sullivan responds. She's a chance, Sonia. Szabo looks up. O'Sullivan goes up alongside of her. It's almost like an Aussie victory if she wins, but Szabo's away. They've dropped Wami. The battle for gold is on. Szabo kicks. O'Sullivan's not beaten. She responds, runs up to her shoulder, and third was Wami. It was a 60-second last lap. Whew. What a race.
Well, one of the best distance races that I've seen in any championship. Absolutely phenomenal. 60 seconds the last lap. It's what we suspected. That was what Szabo's good at. But didn't Sonia follow her? She wasn't fazed by the way she moved. Szabo got herself into pole position with a lap to go, would not give that lead to Nikotenko. Sonia sensibly followed from the outside, kept her cool, let Szabo take the pressure again, but kept the gap down to 1 stride. Szabo kicked in again with 150 metres, which was a very, very serious thing to have done off that kind of pace already. Sonia came back at her in the finishing straight, but it's very, very difficult. All you need is that stride and a half gap, and Sonia was always struggling to close it, but what a brave run.
Oh, it was stirring stuff, wasn't it? A fantastic last lap. Szabo's been the one, but O'Sullivan has run the race of her life to come away with a silver medal. Szabo got a silver in the 1500. She had a big disappointment, and there's Wami. Watch for her in the 10, finishing third there, and O'Sullivan can't believe it. She knows that she's run a great race and finished second. It often happens at the Olympics.
Well, so much better than the way she walked off the track in Atlanta. I know this is a silver medal, but she should be very proud with that. That was a very, very brave piece of running. But I'm very pleased for Szabo. She has been consistently the best distance runner in the world for a long time.
And she's very emotional. So Szabo, O'Sullivan and Wami, the medalists.